I'll tell you something that, to this day, I still don't know if I lived or dreamed in the suffocating silence of that convent. I'm 78 years old now, but what I'm about to share happened when I was barely 15. It was a different time. You understand? Love wasn't spoken of, let alone desire. And yet, it was precisely because of that unspoken hunger that my life turned upside down. One Sunday morning. If you want to know how it all happened, how a girl like me became both sinner and saint in the eyes of those who judged her, listen closely. My name is Irasima, and what I'm about to reveal will shake you deeper than you think. It began with what the nuns called a sin, but to me it felt like love. There was a boy at the market, Luis. He sold bananas with his father and always slipped an extra one into my basket. One day he whispered for me to meet him by the river. And there, with the water murmuring our secrets, my innocence ended when my belly began to swell. My mother collapsed to her knees on the kitchen floor, screaming as if someone had died. To her, I was no longer a daughter. I was the family's shame. You'll hide among the nuns until you birth that sin, she spat, her eyes burning with fury. I had no choice. A rickety cart carried me to the Convent of the Silent Sisters, a place tucked between hills, its iron gates rusted shut. A nun in a black veil studied me like a stain and said, "Here, what's inside never leaves, and what's outside never enters." From that moment I ceased to be Irasima. I was only the sinner. No one spoke my name. No one met my eyes. I slept in a windowless room with a threadbare blanket and a crumbling Bible beside my pillow. The silence was so thick it whispered ghostly murmurs in the dead of night, but the worst wasn't the cold or the hunger. It was the other sounds. The ones that woke me with my heart hammering, though I couldn't name what terrified me. Then, one night, I heard it, chains dragging on stone. I curled under my thin blanket, telling myself it was the wind. But the sound grew closer, slow, deliberate. My door's handle rattled. I held my breath. It didn't open. But in the silence that followed, I knew. This was no dream. The next day, I didn't dare ask questions. Routine was our cage. We woke before dawn to kneel on the chapel's icy floor, ate stale bread with bitter chamomile tea, and worked until our hands bled. The older nuns moved like shadows, their eyes downcast, as if carrying secrets too heavy to speak. But I began to notice things. Dark stains smeared the walls near the floor, not mold, but something older. A locked room at the end of the hall no one approached. And when a new girl asked about it, she vanished the next day. Sent home, they said. Yet I saw her clothes burning in the courtyard, the smoke thick as the nuns whispered psalms. Then came Lucia, 13 years old, lips perpetually bitten raw. She sidled up to me at the wash basin one gray afternoon, trembling. Irasima, she breathed, the first time in months anyone had used my name. At night, something walks the halls. It takes the pregnant girls. Some come back, changed, others never do. That night the whispers came for me. A voice, dry as dead leaves, hissed my name. By morning, Lucia was gone. The convent's horrors unraveled from there. A baby's tiny shoe hidden in a sewing basket. A ledger of names, dates, and red stamps marking transferred to eternal silence. And the night they came for me, hooded figures, a vial of bitter liquid, a chant that wasn't prayer but poison. I'd have died there if not for Luis. He stormed in with an inspector, pulling me from that cellar just as the cleansing began. But freedom wasn't the end. Because in the attic of a wealthy family's mansion, we found the stolen children, including the baby from the locked room. The convent's secret wasn't penance. It was profit. Girls like me were hidden until delivery. Our babies were sold. To the rich, our silence was bought with fear, but some silences break.